This is an important lesson because it's one that I get a lot from other internet marketers and people that sell stuff online, whether that's a made for you product or they're consulting or, an information product or literally anything across the board. And I want to hit this home for you. So sometimes when you get friction from a customer and they ask you about, they have a question or an objection about your price, it's important to remind yourself that you are doing them a favor. And like we said before, be sold on your own product. Now, instead of asking yourself, is it really worth it that's for them to pay that, and kind of getting caught up in the way that they're perceiving the situation, instead flip the script. Start asking yourself, instead of what are they buying, right? Ask yourself, what does it cost the potential customer not to buy, right? What's the cost for them of not purchasing? If they start to give you friction and object to your pricing structure, instead of reminding them what they're purchasing, which you've already basically conveyed to them, instead try to flip the script and explain to them what they're not purchasing, right? What the potential of the customer is if they do not purchase, right? There's always a cost. If there's a cost, for you buying a car, then maybe that's, 23 grand, right? But what's the cost of you not purchasing the car? Maybe you don't have a car currently. Then you won't be able to go apply for jobs, and you won't have a job, and you could be, out time and money, and then you might lose your house. So there's always a cost of not purchasing, just like there is a cost of purchasing. So key here is when someone purchases an information product or a done-for-you product or, you're consulting, they are not paying for that product or that period of time, okay? They're paying for all the time, all the years that you've invested to learn those skills. Gather that insight and then be able to relay it to them in a quick and easy to consume format, okay? They're paying for your expertise to be able to shorten their learning curve and then shorten the time it takes them to get from where they are currently to where they want to be. Now that is obviously in internet marketing and in e-commerce and, like a done for you and an online consulting and an information products type of pitch there, but you can really tailor that to everything. So when you get friction, always ask yourself, flip the script and say, what is the cost of the customer if they don't purchase? And then maybe go that route to explain it to them that way, right? Remember, don't outline the product features. Don't outline, what they might potentially lose, right? Oh, well, you'll lose out on purchasing this car, potentially. No, outline, let them know what they're going to lose feeling-wise, right? Well, you're never going to know what it feels like to pull up at a red light and have people actually look at you with awe. Or maybe you're going to lose out on that next date because the girl won't be impressed that you're in a new car. Something like that. That appeals to their emotions, right? Take that, suggestion and tailor it to whatever you're selling, whether that's in real life, door-to-door, car salesman, or specifically online marketing, okay? So another reminder, they are not paying for the hour or the course. I get this all the time. People are like, I'm trying to sell my consulting for $100, and I'm like, well, do you believe it's worth $100? And then they say yes, right? If they say no, then obviously you shouldn't be pitching a $100 consulting or, a $100 course if you don't believe it's worth that much. So that's the first thing, right? But let's assume that it is, right? So the person is not paying for your time. They're not buying that hour of your consulting. They're not paying for the course. What are they paying for? They're paying for what they could accomplish with that hour of that program. They're paying, they could potentially make, here's two examples. They could potentially make $5,000 with your insight or your program in the next 2 months. They could potentially make $100,000, if they just understood this ready-made, business tactic that they could implement to scale their business, right? What could they avoid losing, right? Well, they'd avoid losing X amount of money. Maybe they'd avoid losing $10,000 and, 4 years of their life because they're going to make the mistakes that you would have warned them about in that hour. So remind yourself, what is the cost of not purchasing for the customer? And then outline that cost for them and appeal to their feelings.